Alright, so I read this article in Game Informer, the magazine or the publication, and it was with Ashley Birch, who is essentially kind of an unknown in gaming. I mean, she's not really relevant to gaming. She had a show on Game Trailers, which is now over with, and as far as I understand it, for at least from this article, she's writing a book on Metal Gear Solid. Like that's as much relevance as she has with games. So, of course, this is an article kissing her ass and asking her for an opinion. And it says a new voice in games. And it's like, this chick has been involved in games for years. Her show on Game Trailers, as far as I know, was on for years. And it never caught on. It never became popular. That's why it's over. But, I mean, it's a woman, so we gotta stick a microphone in front of her and ask her a fucking opinion. Because, you know, women are being attacked 24/7. So they ask her a bunch of just frivolous questions about, whatever, just asinine topics about old-ass games that no one gives a fuck about anymore, that, I wish people would just stop talking about. If a game's more than 20 years old, who gives a shit? I mean, really, if it's Nintendo, keep it in your own little small circle, but everything else, just fuck off. Who cares? It's so sick of talking about old-ass games, but that's not the point of this commentary. I want to get to this part where she talks about Gamergate. And before we get to this part of Gamergate, I want to mention really quick that they talk about apparently she had anxiety or mental issues, and that games helped her out. Here's the point. Games can help you with whatever difficulties you're going through in your lives. Games should not be designed to be some sort of coping mechanism for every fucking person that's thin-skinned and limp-wristed and needs a fucking shoulder to cry on. Not every person is weak. Not every person needs to be comforted in terms of being weak. If you are weak, if you are fragile, if you are mentally exhausted or strained in some capacity, I want you to get better. I want you to deal with what you are going through, and I want you to get past it. I want you to feel better and live for yourself and do well. But what I don't want you to do is drag all of your shit into our subculture. And I'm not just speaking to Ashley Birch on this. I'm speaking to anyone that is involved with trying to press upon certain values onto the gaming industry and onto the gaming community especially. As a person that considers themselves among the gamers in the gaming community, a person that doesn't wear fucking nerd shit and all sorts of other identifiers to say, oh man, I'm such a nerdy person, all this bullshit. I don't want non-gamers in my community. If someone says, I'm a non-gamer and I want to be a gamer, my answer to them is, well, figure it out and come join us. But we're not just allowing you in. It's not just, this is a subculture. And I've compared it to punk in the past, that if you want to be punk, you can't just walk in and say, hey guys, what's going on? I want to be punk. They're going to say, get the fuck out of here. In gaming, it's no different. You want to show up with the cred to be a gamer, then you'll fit right in. You're just going to have to deal with the shit that you might get. If you don't want to deal with the shit, then fuck off. If you don't want to actually put in the time and effort to become a gamer, fuck off. If you don't want to actually get past your own bullshit, your identity issues, your mental issues, your narcissistic issues, if you can't get past your own fucking bullshit, your own politics especially, then no one wants you around. You're just a bad person in general to be around. I mean, who in a party, if you're at any kind of social gathering, not just a party, any kind of social gathering, who wants to talk to the person that can never shut the fuck up about themselves? Who wants to talk to that person? No one. The same goes with gamers. If all you're here to talk about is yourself and your bullshit and your politics, you better back it up. You better be willing to discuss other people's politics, even if they disagree with yours. You better be ready to hash out a conversation, especially when it comes to politics. As a person that now has a degree in the field, I can tell you for a fact that most people don't like to discuss their politics. Most people are guarded when it comes to their politics. And that means you need to come in and be in good faith and act like a decent fucking human being. And when you come in here and start throwing your weight around, acting like a fucking cunt, and this is directed to another person you name in this article. Actually, this is not directed at you, that comment anyway. If you act like an asshole, you're going to get treated like an asshole. If you act like a poser, you're going to get treated like a poser. And online, people are fucking awful. People are going to give you shit. People that aren't really gamers are going to come after you and harass you and give you tons of shit. because you're making yourself a target, and no one wants to deal with you. No one wants to come to your rescue except for people that have something to gain out of it, whether it's their own issues or whether it's money. So don't come to me talking about your fucking baggage. I don't give a fuck. Everyone has a goddamn sob story to tell. Everyone's from not everyone has the luxuries that everyone else has. You aren't special. No one's special. That's the issue. No one's special. So let's get to this fucking article through that rant. What are your thoughts on Gamergate? Because this is the thing. They gotta ask her. This is the whole point of the article. They gotta ask her about Gamergate. What are your thoughts on Gamergate, on everything that's gone through the last year? Now, that's the other thing I was going to say. Editor, what are your thoughts, Gamergate? It is, what are your thoughts on Gamergate? There's a little help for Matt Hengelson, who wrote this shit article. These stories have unfortunately always existed, but the volume and severity of the attacks against women because of Gamergate is astonishing, devastating, and heartbreaking. I'm sure you really care with that deluge and bullshit. We lost lots of really important voices that were driven out of the industry because of unending harassment. I really doubt that. Anita Sarkeesian's still around. Could she leave? We'll take back one of the hack writers that left. We'll take back one of those hack writers. Just get rid of Anita Sarkeesian. It's an unfortunate thing because I think gamers are such passionate people. It's not just a hobby for a lot of people. It's a piece of their identity. Okay? So let's watch where this goes, by the way. She's setting this up as identity. This isn't a straw man argument or anything that she's constructing to throw her own fucking weight behind in terms of argument. Regardless for the reason that gaming was made a piece of their identity, it's a truth for them, and they feel very attached to the games. Well, there's a nonsensical fucking statement. I'm sorry I'm butchering this, but I'm reading this in real time. When you hear or read criticisms, for example, Anita Sarkeesian or other feminist thinkers, it becomes an argument of semantics or strawman arguments. Okay, so two things. One, you didn't call Anita Sarkeesian a gamer, which she's in the gaming subculture. So let's say, for example, I am a right-wing, neoconservative, conservative Christian. Nothing really wrong with that. Obviously, I disagree with those people on many things, but let's just take that person. Right-wing, neoconservative, conservative Christian. So they show up at this punk concert, and there's this guy on stage, and he's talking about sort of left-wing anarchy and all sorts of other crazy shit. And this guy stands up and says, "Excuse me, sir, as a conservative Christian, right-wing, blah blah blah," and then gives his opinion. And everyone in the room goes, "Boo! Get the fuck out of here! Get this asshole out of here! You're not punk! Get the fuck out!" And he goes, "Oh my God, I've been harassed as a conservative Christian right-winger." No, you don't belong. You don't belong. You put it right there. You said it yourself. Anita Sarkeesian or other feminist thinkers. I'd be in a gender studies class if I cared. I'd go to some social club that debates gender studies if I gave a shit what feminists think. I don't. I'm a gamer. I care what the industry thinks. I care what the game makers think. Maybe I care what YouTube commenters think. Maybe them. Because they're gamers. Because they play games. I don't give a shit what feminists think. I don't give a shit at all. No one does. And that's the issue. If this was any other circumstance, where if an atheist walks into church and says, excuse me, Father, I have a problem with what you just said," they're going to boo that guy. They're going to say, "Get the fuck out of here." But because this is a feminist, this is a white woman that we got to protect. No, she's allowed to do whatever the fuck she pleases. She can walk in anyone's subculture and start shitting it up because she has that right. So in any other circumstance, this would be not even just taboo, but it would be rude on the part of the person walking in. It would be extremely rude. And the people would be rightly saying, "Get the fuck out of here. You have nothing to do with what we're here by ourselves. We're in our church praying. Who the fuck are you? This is our own private event that we're hosting our left-wing anarchist band. You're not punk. Get the fuck out." And here we are as gamers saying, "We're gamers. You're feminists. Get the fuck out." There's nothing wrong with that. They're equating love of a game or a medium with their identity. So remember that. So if Grand Theft Auto is sexist, you might be thinking the false conclusion that this feminist is telling you that you are sexist for liking this game, which isn't true. Anything that you like, literally any show, any movie, any TV show, any game, any book, is going to be problematic in some way, more than likely. Who cares? Even shows that are at their core trying to be feminist might be racist. Fine. I don't give a shit. There could be shows that are trying so hard not to be racist, but that are sexist. Who cares? Who cares? Good, I hope they are racist and sexist. Who gives a shit? Don't watch them. You can't really link your identity to something that you love. See, this is the circle. This is the full circle. She talks about straw man arguments, and then she makes the entire thing about identity. And then at the end, she says you can't really link your identity to something that you love. You're the one that said that this is the case. You're the one that constructed that gamers link gaming with their identity. Gaming is just consumes them, and that they ultimately love it. And then you say, oh, they can't link it to something that you love. You constructed that argument. It's by your standard. It's not everyone else's standard. You don't speak for everyone else, so shut the fuck up. So the last part of this is how can we move forward? I did a talk with Rosalind Wiseman, who's an educator, whoop-de-fucking-do, not a gamer, and we surveyed over 1,000 people, adults and children, but we got mostly kids. Well, I bet it's fucking extremely empirical. We asked them a bunch of questions, boys and girls, about what sort of protagonists they like to see in games. We asked boys, what do you think girls play, which, who the fuck cares? Do you want to see girls playing the same games as you? Well, not if they're little kids. They probably don't want girls with cooties playing with them. Girls care more. Boys don't really care whether or not they play the male or female protagonist. That's true. I don't really care whether I play male or female. Although sometimes I like to design my own character because I'm creative. And they want more girls playing the same games as them. Well, that's great for those little kids. And they already think that girls play literally every genre, FPS, MOBA, RTS, RPG, mobile. That's actually incorrect. Most women do not play FPS in competitive games, although I have met plenty of girls that do, but they're another type of girl. Most girls that I've met that are so-called gamers play like 3DS games, phone games, The Sims, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I play phone games, I play narrative games, I play The Sims, even though that's now targeted towards girls. It's what it is. I just play what I feel like playing. No one has to play anything. There's no designation for what men and women can play. But hey, if you play Grand Theft Auto Online, if you play Call of Duty, whichever one it is in the last goddamn decade, you're gonna get shit talk. Which, throw it right back. That's how you play. You want to be there to be competitive, play competitively. Take the shit and deal it right back. If you can't, fuck off to something else. Boys think that girls play everything. So all of these preconceived notions that we have about games are actually not right. According to you, what? So they studied all of these preconceived notions? They're all wrong? Jesus Christ, fucking retard. We talk to kids and they're becoming more progressive. Oh my god. Oh my god. See, again, and I didn't even read that part. I read that in real time. That's the part that kills me the most. You are trying to indoctrinate them with your form of feminist bullshit that not everyone agrees with. I'm on the left. I am staunchly on the left, and I think that this is all garbage that is doing damage to left-wing politics. This is unequivocally doing damage to left-wing politics. And it makes us look like a bunch of chucklehead fucks. We look so stupid making bad arguments like this. It's not just as though I disagree. I do disagree with most of it, but in general, you're making bad arguments. You're talking about straw men and then constructing them. You're talking about, oh, well, we did this one stupid, totally unscientific study, and we discovered that all preconceived notions about games that we constructed in the first place are wrong. Oh, congratulations, you're an idiot. But yeah, it's Ashley Birch, man. Just one more idiot. Just one more idiot on the pile of people that can just fuck right off. When anyone starts talking about what they think and what they know about gaming, fuck right off. Make a game and then talk about it. Talk about your game. Talk about what you know about that genre. You work on games. You write about games. Be humble. Be humble about the fact that you got a nice cushy fucking job about it. Be ethical. Be actually honorable about what you do, even though it might cost you something, even though you might have to sacrifice yourself, and you'll start getting followers because people can respect you for it. That's why Total Biscuit is so accredited. So he has so many goddamn accolades, and people watch him, people respect the shit out of him because he's worth respecting. He doesn't fucking get all this goddamn FaceTime for no fucking reason. Unlike someone like Ashley Birch, who's a no-name, who's getting FaceTime for no reason and shits on gaming once again. You know, it's just the way it is. It's another reason why Game Informer as a magazine, I shouldn't even pay the few cents that it's worth, because you're not getting anything out of it. It's just one big advertisement for the games that sell at GameStop, and when they're not, they're talking about social justice and how we're going to make kids more progressive. It's total bullshit. So that's all I have to say.